That's funny. Hi, everybody. This is Joe Hammer. Are we recording on that one also? Nice. Hi, everybody. This is Joe Hammer, and this is a very special episode of Almost Live from the Basement. We're going to divert from our regular format because our handsome brother, Lyric, will not be able to join us tonight.
Lyric, we miss you,
We
bro.
miss you very much, but
Get well soon.
Since a two-man game show versus Sauce is not fair to anybody, especially Sauce, we decided to switch up the format and talk about some issues. Yeah, trust me.
He's in the room.
I know, he's right here. So we decided to take a break and talk about some issues that are going on in the world, some stuff that's bothering us.
I like issues.
You know what? And you're going to hear a lot of stuff tonight from especially Papa P-Whip about like platitudes. You know, like things that feel good to say but won't actually fix anything. But I'm all about results, so I'm going to talk about results tonight. And Sauce has promised me that he knows nothing about the topics I'm going to talk about today.
This is how I live my life. I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the radio. I watch movies, or I listen to my iPod. I stay away from the news because the negativeness and people talking bore me. Did I fall asleep right there?
Yeah, no, dude, I was snoring. So with us also today, we have the OBB.
Hello.
She's gonna help us out today, and
Welcome to the show, girl.
We're just gonna freestyle this one. So I'm just gonna kick it out here, and we're gonna talk real quick about the hurricane. I only brought that up because Papa P-Whip said we should talk about the hurricane. I said, no, we need to talk about big picture issues. So we're going to talk about the hurricane.
My brother lives in Florida.
That's what I was going to ask you. I just saw the picture about them like hoarding, like hoarding the food. Like, you want to talk about that?
Some people call it being prepared for a hurricane, but you call it hoarding. I get it.
I mean,
he calls it a Tuesday.
I mean, since they're white, they're only, you know, they're stockpiling food. Now, if they were any other color, they'd be looting and hoarding food, right?
And that's supposed to say to Black Lives Matter. Oh, Lord.
All right. So let's talk about Black Lives Matter then. That is a good segue. Papa P-Whip, how do you feel? Just tell us everything. I'm gonna
You
shut
really
up.
want me to start
Yeah,
so I can
shut
give
up.
my opinion, you can slam it.
No, I'm gonna shut up for like 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Or 3 minutes probably. Go ahead.
All right.
Tell us what you think.
He's running around in his boxes. It's hard to focus, but obviously it's probably our biggest social issue right now, and I defer. I obviously have a different opinion than you guys, but Black Lives Matters is extremely important. We need to get everybody up to the same level playing field.
Absolutely.
And we need to end the stereotypes, and we need to make sure, as far as murders, I understand the other side where, where large groups of African Americans live. It is some bad areas, but that is mostly due to the lack of schooling, lack of jobs offered, and that means our police have to be cognizant of that. They have to understand that, and maybe, we just have to have a full new system. We have to have talks. Leaders from the black community, leaders from police have to go in and talk, and everybody's got to try to get on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very nice platitude. What are your plans though? Like, what do you think needs to happen?
I think there's got to find a way where we can make everybody colorblind by something connecting to the sun and shooting. I think there's a movie about this. I'm not sure.
They still see shades.
Yeah. But didn't change everybody's pigmentation to be like Michael Jackson, just make them all one color. And I'm not saying white or black, but just one color.
No,
I wouldn't mind being
Mike
black.
became white.
I know what he did, but can't we go the other way? Or is that called tanning?
Fuck off.
Hey, congratulations with this guy.
Yeah. So
Did you see we broke up today?
It's just a plan,
It's over.
But yeah, it's always been this way, black versus white, and there's been
why though? Who's making it like that?
It's just the way society sees it. I remember being in school, and and you guys know, the dance team I was on was all black. When I tried out, I even asked them, like, is this an all-black squad? They're like, no, just white people don't come out and try out for this. And I thought, all right, cool. So, I tried to break down the stereotype, and then I think there was one white girl later on. But, I mean, there's black and there's white. It's just, they see it. I mean, regardless who you are, and maybe it's because where we grew up, but, like, yeah.
I don't know. I
don't want to be the guy to say that I lock the door when a black guy walks by, but, I mean...
Okay, then don't say that. Let's move on.
I'm not saying
that breakup will be real in about 10
Calm down.
seconds.
Calm down.
So you're the guy in the beginning of The Office, is what you're saying?
Office Space.
Okay, Office Space, right? No, I guess I see things differently. I don't see things that way at all. I don't. I mean, I'm not going to be like, oh, I have lots of black friends, but I do have some black friends, and
I need you to
they're just as close to me as if they were white. You know, I don't see it any other way. And in fact, I mean, I would go the other way, and I would say that, you know, reparations. You know, I mean, honestly, we need something to jumpstart those predominantly black communities. Something. I don't know what it is. Maybe you know, Hammer. You got an idea of
yeah, OBB, what do you think?
Yeah, let's throw it over here.
You know, here's the thing: is the whole Black Lives Matter. When it was going on and everything, and it was such a big thing. I posted something like Taco Lives Matter or something. My sister hit me up, and I'm like, "Oh Lord, I don't want to do this with you." Like, you know, I have black friends. I completely support, you know, equality for everybody. And I'm like, but I think at times people are making this an agenda. It's the new public agenda. And so my sister and I had a really long talk, and it's on one of the podcasts, about what Black Lives Matter is about. And I had a whole problem with the Kaepernick thing where he kneeled during the national anthem, blah, 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 because I thought it was disrespectful. And in all honesty, it's not. He's actually silently protesting and being, you know, not an asshole and looting and rioting and everything else like that. But racism exists. It existed 50 years ago. It existed 100 years ago. It exists today. And so now it's on to training. I mean...
Would you say it existed more 50 years ago than it does today, or less?
You know, I think
100 years ago, I can tell you it existed more, because there was still slavery. Oh, no, that'd be 1916.
Okay, well, whatever.
Jim Crow laws. Anyways, worse. So what were you saying? 50 years, though. Let's go 50.
Okay, so I think that it was worse 50 years ago, absolutely. But I don't think that it's so much that it's gotten better as that it's gotten different.
For sure, yeah. That better or worse thing, I can see exactly what you're saying, because it's still bad. Like, it was just, it's exactly right. I'd go different, for sure.
It's just evolved into a different type of stereotype. And, you know, to your effect, whatever they're calling you, Zero, Papa P Whip, you're absolutely right, is in the communities where there's a higher percentage of an African-American population, there's also a higher percentage of low-income housing and different things like that. So the question is, why? Why is it that I can live in Chicago's inner city and I can live in Oak Park and I'm paying the same amount in taxes, but this area is getting way less?
Yeah.
Why? You know, who's deciding that this is okay?
Really good question.
More money needs to go to police because this area is higher crime. I completely agree with that. But there should be some way of a budget breakdown. You're not telling me that the entire budget for Chicago is only going to the nice neighborhoods and not going to the bad neighborhoods and then spinning it. Well, that's exactly what's happening.
Right.
You're segregating a population, whether they be black, white, Spanish, whatever.
And the sad thing is that's been our history as a country. Mm-hmm. I mean, we did that to Native Americans. We've done that to Japanese. We've done that to Mexicans. Mm-hmm. We've done that to African Americans. And you know, people want to turn a blind eye because honestly, that breeds success for everybody else. You know, but it just can't be that way anymore. And to your question, Hammer, it is. I feel it is better now because I feel, you know, we don't have Selma. We don't have, you know, people burning crosses. But does that mean internally it's better? Does that mean people don't have the same racist feelings inside? I'm going to say I'm optimistic, so I hope it's better. But it's still, you see some things that are dirty, you know, and that people get swayed, and you're swayed by what you actually deal with in your own life. So for the police, who have to deal with a lot of garbage, a lot of crap, you know, and I'm hard on police. I mean, police, if you fuck up and you know, kill somebody because you're secretly racist, you should be gone. You're a criminal, just like anybody else. I don't care if you're wearing a uniform or not.
But see, real quick, and I'm going to interrupt you there. Everyone keeps saying, oh, but it's their job or this, that, and the other. And my sister came up with a good point. Police are supposed to be like one level above us.
Exactly. You
are supposed to know the law inside, outside, upside down.
100%.
You are supposed to serve and protect all of the community, not a specific portion of the community, all of the community.
And usually you work just in a small community, so you
Right.
know exactly who you're dealing with when you take the job. It's not like you're surprised that there's gang activity.
Right.
All right, let me tell you how I feel about the police. I would like the police to be like the fire department. I don't want to ever see you unless I call you.
I actually agree with that.
I mean, and
That was their initial purpose.
Yeah, and I think that the police would actually have a better time because I'm talking foosball, fucking chili. We will get them poles to slide down, Dalmatians, whatever they want.
Living the dream back at the
Yeah.
police house.
They got German Shepherds. They don't
Well,
need
whatever.
Dalmatians.
Okay, semantics. But what I'm saying here,
That's actually a really good point, though.
yeah,
honestly.
no, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't need. I'm a law-abiding citizen who pays taxes. I don't need to be driving my car and then see a police officer pulling behind me and get the sweats because I might get pulled over and have to pay a $200 ticket that I can't afford to pay. You know?
Exactly. Or the feeling you get when they're in the 7-Eleven and they're just staring you down for whatever reason because
Yeah.
I'm in there at 11:30 at night. I'm like,
Yeah, it's like, well,
what is
You're
the
like,
issue
I
right
need
now?
a burrito and a hot dog from that spinny thing. Quit judging my life.
What are you guys so guilty about when police roll around?
No, that's
No.
I always
I
have felt
completely-
that.
Hold
Yeah.
on. They have a gun. I don't.
Right.
So there's always that.
I do,
form
but
of
they
in-
always frown when I bring it
Yeah.
out.
Well, there you go. There's always that type of intimidation. But yeah, I mean, like, okay, there was a situation at my apartment where I had to call the police.
Did you get
That's
out of
fine.
hand again?
No.
And you couldn't curtail yourself?
No, I live on a street that has a couple bars, within walking distance. And yeah, it was nice. It was a good time. Anyways,
Says the sober guy.
yeah, I don't drink anymore. I used to frequent both of those places quite a bit. But what happened is it was 2 a.m.
Now that you stopped drinking, one of them went out of business.
Yeah, that's
Coincidence?
I'm not going to say it's a coincidence, but yeah, shit, oh my God, you're right. I never thought about it. Now that you think about it, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
That's
no,
for you,
but-
Lyric.
Missy
Yeah,
lyric.
but real quick though, what happened is like it's 1:30 in the morning, maybe 2 o'clock, and I hear boom, 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 pounding on the door. I'm like, I don't have a peephole. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna fucking get up to see what this is all about. And then, like 3 minutes later,
Wait. You're the biggest peeping Tom I know. Go
you
back to
talking about?
you don't have a peephole.
no, we don't have a peephole. What are you talking about, Peeping Tom? Anyways,
She just heard stories from her past.
oh, I don't know. I'm not really a voyeur. But anyways, what happened is, so 3 minutes later, I hear a rattle, like I had the kitchen window open. I hear a rattling at the kitchen window, like someone's trying to break in. So I'm like, oh shit. So I called the police. And I was very thankful that they came and showed up. But that's what they're there for, We don't need them harassing citizens. We don't need them getting in people's faces. We don't need them hassle. They're not there to hassle. They right now they're a fundraising organization, and we need to stop that and go back to
Very true.
back to police, serving and protecting. And like I said, just chill out. It's much safer to hang out at the police station and eat chili and just come when we need you.
Right, but that's what the same thing you guys were talking about where you're going in a 7-Eleven, you're getting looks, or, they pull up behind you and you're sweating. That's a deterrent, to make you say, I don't want to do anything wrong. So if you never see a police patrolling...
I think it's
I
not
don't
a
need a
deterrent.
deterrent.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't, but some
it's
people do.
intimidation.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, that's the other side of the coin. That's why it is
Sure,
like it is.
sure.
well, I'm glad you brought that up because that brings us to like the nanny state. Like, are we free adults with that can make our own decisions, or do we need parents at from cradle to the grave? Do we need a parent there overlooking us, telling us how to live our lives? I don't think we need that.
If you talk to my mother, I constantly need a parent.
I think I'm past, having a mother. Sorry, Mom, I love you.
It's government overreach, and I mean the thing is that police should be there to diffuse situations, and instead, a lot of times they incite them. They show up and in a situation where
You're
maybe,
going to comply with what I have to say, otherwise it's
Exactly.
going to escalate. To
And that's the thing I never could get is like, well, why didn't you just listen to him? Well, I'm sorry if I'm in my car and I ask a simple question like, why did you pull me over? And all of a sudden he's screaming at me to get out of the car and pulling out a taser. I mean, just going to say my reaction
Your
is going to be
adrenaline's up,
right. I mean,
you're either going to fight or flight. I mean, because it comes down to we're dumb animals still. It's like our society has evolved past our where our evolution is, and this is kind of what I think a lot of our problems are. Is that we are we're being that dumb animal. You know, we're not ready for. Our evolution hasn't caught up to where our society has made us. And I think that, you know, like they say about greed. Oh, you need to be less greedy. Well, greedy is hardwired into us. All right, it just is. Like if we were all in the forest hunting and gathering, there's only so many resources. You know, now there's a lot more resources, but we haven't evolved past that greediness, that basic level of I need to collect shit, otherwise we're gonna all freeze and die. You know, I don't think we've evolved past that yet. So we need to accept that greed is a part of us. And now that we can accept that, now we can look at trying to change it. But we all need to accept that everyone is always going to look out for the best interests, because that's the first thing you go to, because that's that fight or flight response. And so that, I don't know, I kind of, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. But again, with police officers, like I don't want any police officer to carry a gun. I don't think there's a need for it. Shotguns.
I don't agree with that.
Well, hold on, let me talk about it though. Shotguns in the car, great idea, right? They should be able to have a weapon. You know, they should tasers, totally fine. You know, even. I'm not real crazy about it, but even if, you know, we have to do a compromise and have a rubber bullet handgun, I'm not fine with it, but
so non-lethal.
Right, I'm accepting of that.
Carrying-wise.
All right, if I'm totally okay with them having the shotguns in the back of the car or the trunk of the cruiser, because if they happen to there's an active shooting coming up, they need to have access to that, but they don't need to have it on their hip at all times. Like, I think if you have a tool, there's a chance you're going to use it. If you don't have
bigger
it,
chance that you're going to use
you're
it.
not going to use it. Yeah.
Then I
If
think.
you're-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My fault.
If you're properly trained, that's not what's going to happen. I mean,
Hold on.
you know,
The cops who choked out Michael Brown, were they properly trained? Did they go through all the training?
well, and
Was it-
that's
well, hold
I'm
on.
getting there. I'm getting there.
Well,
Police on
hold on, let me
average.
just say this real quick. No, they don't choose those chokeholds. They don't teach that. That's just the guys going off. Like, they were taught the proper way. They didn't, though, because they're humans too, and their
that wasn't
adrenaline's
even a
up
weapon.
also.
That was just one douchebag.
And that's what I'm saying, though.
And like a
We
football
have-
jersey.
We have a friend who I'm
Masquerading
not
as
going
a
to mention
cop.
any names,
Right.
but his first day getting back from the police academy, what did he tell you? That he learned a new chokehold today, and he couldn't wait for a citizen to pop off so he could try it on him. Right?
Okay. So besides all of that, what I was trying to say is these cops, on average, go through 8 weeks of training. 8 weeks. I started a new job. I went through more than 8 weeks of training when I first started. Like, that's ridiculous. There's
Was
no
that including
way.
the academy? That's all they do?
They do 8 weeks of on-the-job training.
Oh, okay.
And then the academy is 2 months. So in total, they do 4 months of training
That seems
to
like a lot.
decide ultimately
They made 7 movies.
if they're gonna shoot somebody or not. That's not enough training. And I'm from a military family.
I was gonna
All
say,
of us
that's
believe in
just
guns.
the amount of training that most soldiers get.
But see, and that's where the huge disconnect is. That's not the most training they get. They get usually 8 to 12 weeks of boot camp.
Right.
But for gun training, they go through 2 years of learning when to do it, learning how to de-escalate the situation. I had family that was over in Iraq, Afghanistan. They are literally told, you have to do everything you can
No, I know.
before you can shoot.
I'm with
Why
you.
are we not training our police
I'm
that are
100% with-
protecting us
I mean,
We're-
that's the
we're
to do the
most
same
obvious
effing
point
thing?
I've ever heard.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
that's
you
amazing.
are arguing with me, because we're saying the
You guys
exact
are
same
on the
No.
same
thing.
Oh,
side.
no. I'm not
We're on the
arguing.
same
I'm
side.
saying. No.
Well, here's the
I
thing,
think it's
though.
getting kind of heated.
If
When
you're going
when I
to
was
take,
in the ROTC, they put a gun in my head. It's 6 weeks. And it was awesome.
if you're going to
It was
take
just-
guns
it was
away,
just target shooting. That was great.
you
It was
have
so
to
much
change the whole emphasis on what police are doing. You cannot
I'm
ask
with
them
ya.
to stop cars to write. I don't want to call them meaningless tickets, because
I'll call them
speeding
that.
is okay. I'm not saying it's not bad, but like, you're speeding 7 miles over the speed limit. That's fruitless. Okay, that's just a money grab. So if you're going to put them in the situation where they have to walk up to a dark car and having no idea what the person has, then obviously they probably have to have some kind of weapon on them. But however, I think that's what we need to change. I mean, we don't need that. You know, we don't need, I mean, I don't understand why we have 25, 30 mile an hour speed limits to begin with, but I don't need somebody pulling people over because they're going 37. I just don't need that. That's not.
Right, but you do want somebody pulling someone over who's going 65 in a 35 or in a 20 where there's kids playing or things like that.
Exactly.
I mean, you say you don't want people, you don't want the police to police, so you're telling me it's totally cool on Friday night when everybody decides to get drunk? Like, that's cool. We'll just leave it up to God's nature. Like, those people don't get pulled over. There's got to be a happy medium, but taking police away, like firefighters, that's not going to work either.
We just have to be vigilant as citizens, and I do this all the time because I DJ. I don't drink. I DJ till 3 o'clock in the morning. I see drunk drivers on their way home. I will call it. I will drop a dime on them in a fucking second. Mm-hmm. And I think that we all need to be.
What?
I think we all need to be more diligent as a society. That when we see something that fucked up, we say, "Okay, now it's time to call the police."
Right.
But that's you stepping up as a citizen.
Yeah, well,
whereas I may be driving home and going, "Oh shit, they're buzzed. I'm gonna stay out of their way." And been there, done that, buddy. You know what I mean? But you're asking everybody. Hold on.
Yeah, but if you're buzzed,
it's bullshit.
Again, like where are you drawing the line?
Okay.
I'm saying like if people are swerving and shit, like that's unsafe. But
I feel that they do need a patrol. I'm on the other side of the coin.
You're at 0.8. You're at 0.08, and you're going to get pulled over and get a DUI.
I feel the patrol is a deterrent. And I think that, you know, the pulling over, I mean, you're right about that. 7 miles per hour, that's bullshit. 20, definitely. But you got to have somebody out there patrolling. As far as the guns go, I think with the right training, they should be fine with carrying a lethal weapon rather than just a shotgun.
But these guys are trained, and they're still shooting. Like,
the problem is somewhere along the lines... Okay, so you have these cops that are shooting
I have a solution for this, by the way.
Me too.
Awesome, I can't wait. So you have these cops that are shooting, you know, the whole, everything like that. The biggest problem is they've now gone from serving and protecting to literally judge, jury, execution.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
And they have
that's why
no right to that. They never had a right to that to begin with.
I know. That's why they shouldn't be carrying the lethal force anyways.
Your Facebook pages compared to what you're saying right now are very confusing to me. Because I feel like you and I are on different pages when I see your Facebook post, but from what you're saying now,
plus
you're
arguing the same point that I just said.
No, I'm not. Hold on. I have a point to this whole time.
Okay,
but what I thank you. I wasn't actually expecting you to, so I kind of totally just lost my train of thought.
That's
he has no points.
Really go ahead.
That's the way you diffused the situation. Yeah, I did a great job there. Real quick though, to Papa P-Whip's point, you won't have to worry about what's dangerous, like going up to a car if there was less laws like making shit illegal. Yes. Like if I had 3 pounds of marijuana in my car and it's legal, no, fuck it. Yeah, I'll tell the cop like you want to roll the joint? Like fucking get on this.
No, you are 100% right. Way too many laws.
Yeah.
And they're just again, it's not to I've talked about this before, but they're private prisons and they need them filled. Yeah. And unfortunately they're under contract.
And they get kickbacks.
They get kickbacks.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And the sad thing is, I don't know if you knew this, but I think it was my sister. Somebody, anyway, posted the statistics. Actual statistics of how they get more money for African American prisoners than they do for white prisoners.
Ooh.
That seems ridiculous.
I don't know.
I'll
believe
there's a whole 2020 investigation.
Is that because of the amount of
the private
black to white, or are you saying that they actually like if one and one come in?
I'm gonna $8.
No, they're saying that in what they did an overview of 17. Right. I'll post the link again. Anyway, they did an overview of 17 prisons that are private prisons that are contracted, and on I think it was 15 of them, it was the amount of money coming in because of the ratio of people was one thing. And then there was 2 prisons that actually the companies were being shut down because they were literally giving kickbacks if the prisoner was of any I'm getting the source right now. It's getting texted to me. If the prisoner was anything but white.
Gotcha.
All right, hold on. I'm going to stay away from anything unless we have hard facts about it. Like that. because we're talking more big picture stuff. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm saying this, okay, because I don't want to come off as anti-police. Police are
No.
insanely heroic for the most part. They really are. They're most of them are really good people. But let's be honest, you're giving people who like to shoot, right?
Yeah.
They have that type of personality.
Yep.
They're I'm not gonna say they're action junkies, right? But they like the power. And I mean, if you've dealt with a bad, okay, in my case, bad detective, a bad judge, these people like to be able to bully over you. And there are some of those in there. So what we have to do is, if you get one that is clearly not just having a bad day, but clearly an asshole and is clearly breaking the law, you get rid of him.
Yeah,
you don't give him a vacation and keep his pension, and then he's back in 2 months in a different position, and everybody else on the force is backing him like he's a saint. That's stupid. Every job has assholes. You fire the assholes. You get rid of the bad apples, and the tree grows. The police do not do that because of their blue code, and if they got rid of that, I think things would change drastically.
So what you're saying is
quickly.
you're anti-union?
No,
Funny. No.
it's not anti-union, but
That's what the
here's
blue code is. We'll talk about it later. We're moving on. I'm sorry. Next,
Go
because
for it.
we're running out of time. Next question. Drugs. Legalize them all.
All of them?
No.
Every single one. Here,
Hell no.
hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
population.
Wait, I want to hear
Yeah.
the side of the
All right.
story real quick.
Legalize all the drugs.
Yeah, that'll
All
make
right. Hold on.
the black area is much better. Okay, go ahead.
Wow.
Whoa.
Is Antioch a huge black area?
Do we want
A lot
heroin
of
in
heroin, right?
any poor
Hold on, though.
areas?
Listen to this, okay? Legalize all the drugs, all right? Here's why. We can then take all that money that we're spending on incarceration and we put it towards treatment. Because the supply side of the treatment versus the incarceration side, we're going to be saving billions of dollars. And we're going to be able to actually affect people and affect treatment. And once you take away the illegality of it, a lot of the stigma goes away. And now there's clear paths to treatment for folks instead of having to go and buy your drugs from a guy who has a gun and is not abiding by the law. Well, now you don't have to do that.
So you're saying like clinics, like they have marijuana clinics, but
Yeah.
they would have heroin.
They
clinics,
have whatever it is.
Whatever you want. Like,
speed
Yeah,
clinics.
whatever they want. But
just hit the shelf and pull off what you want. Put it in your cart. Go
nuts,
check
man.
out.
Go
You got
get crazy
coupons.
with it.
Gotta have coops.
Cooped, that'd be nice.
Gotta have
Don't get me
coops.
started on that.
Gotta have coops.
Yeah, no, you legalize all the drugs, you take away the stigma, you take away the criminal element from it, and then you take that money that was being spent on incarceration, which isn't doing anyone any good, and then you spend it on treatment and on programs, to help educate the public. Say, hey, this is, it's not illegal, but don't do it. Like, why? It's not a good.
This is what happens if you do heroin. This is what
Yeah,
happens
like
if
this,
you do cocaine.
you'll look like this. This is what will happen to you, and there's
This is what
going to
happens if you
be
do crystal meth.
hold
and show a
on,
picture of
illegal
zero.
or not illegal. There's going to be a segment of the population that's going to do it regardless. Anyways, and you're going to be like, well, what about my kids? I don't want my kids turning 21 and going to buy heroin. Well, you know what? If you like, I don't do any of those, but like I don't drink anymore either. But again, I had to come to that point myself,
Yeah.
But it's not like it's something that, it's always going to kind of carry a stigma, especially the hard drugs. But talk to your kids about it. How many kids do those drugs because they want to rebel against their parents? And that's a way to do it.
That's why the OBBs started doing drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, your logic, it makes sense about taking the money that we spent on incarceration and putting it to treatment. But however, why would the kids have to wait to 21? If it's legal, they could take it at any time. And
No, it's the same thing as
Alcohol or cigarettes.
alcohol's 21, cigarettes are 18.
okay, so you're saying just make it illegal for anyone until they hit 21, and
Yeah,
then
you're
fuck
18
you.
or
You're an
whatever it
adult,
is.
Do your thing.
Yeah, freedom, do it, and then give parents the put the onus back on the parents then to make sure that you're raising your kids so they don't want to do drugs. Like, I'm not a smoker.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
Smoking
disagree.
is available to me.
Right, I'll disagree, but I can accept your logic. It makes sense.
I see what you're saying, because if you're educated about it, like
Right.
the four of us sitting right here, we don't do drugs because we either don't want to or don't need them or whatever the situation is.
But the thing is, you do heroin, what happens? It's not just going to affect you, it's going to affect everyone around you. Your kids' lives are
Right.
destroyed, your family lives are destroyed.
Alcohol does the same thing.
It can. I'm not saying it won't, but I'm saying that it's
Well, I mean, heroin addictive, alcohol addictive. Like
Sure.
it's I mean,
Okay.
it's we need to treat addiction, not criminal. We
Sure.
need to treat
I
the
get your
addiction,
point.
not make criminals out of people who need help.
I 110% agree with you on that. I
okay.
do
There you
not agree that you should make all drugs legal.
Yes,
I think
legal.
that's literally asking for insanity.
No, I think it's going to
There are
solve so
drugs.
many social issues that we have.
I think there are definitely drugs that should be legal.
I think marijuana is knocking on the doorstep everywhere. And
I don't
think
smoke
that's-
marijuana, but I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
at this
from what I
point.
understand, like I said,
But I don't want to be walking through like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like
Well, it's-
I hate going outside. and
Again,
people are all
it's not going to
smoking.
be the mall. People go to drink at bars, right?
Right.
Well, marijuana and every other drug then that would be legal would be regulated
so
the same
it
exact
would
way.
be a different kind of bar, just like
Yeah.
a drug bar.
Yeah, go nuts.
You could do drugs here.
Yeah,
That place would be awesome.
go nuts.
We should
Hey
make- we should
Ryan,
get about that bar.
after coaching hockey Friday night, you want to go to the drug bar?
Yeah, let's go catch
Maybe
some
we'll
nuts.
see more parents
Is there a
there.
playground
Hey,
right next door to
guys.
the bar, the drug bar?
Well, but see, here's the thing: you zone it.
Babysitting. We could offer
We are-
babysitting service.
We already have the zoning on the books. It's already on the books. You can't have a bar next to a school or a playground. Like you can't. So the zoning's already on the books. And then if people who want to do drugs are openly doing them in a safe, regulated place, just like a bar. Not saying that bars are safe because trust me, I've seen some shit. But they're in a regulated place where they can do. You know what though? A lot of the times I've seen bar fights was because people are hopped up on cocaine, which is illegal, and so people can be
Oh,
separate.
that's okay. Somebody's going to add to the show. What up, Lyric?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
You're on live.
How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Almost Live?
We're talking about drugs and legalizing drugs right now.
Nice. I know Hammer's on board for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Clearly, you guys had this conversation
Yeah,
already.
but what I was saying though is that oh fuck, where did my train go?
You were
Where's I at?
you were talking about how the
no.
zoning and if
but-
people can do it out in public.
Right, but if they can do it out where they're doing it, well then you can also focus the treatment on there. You know where the people are at. You know where the people who need help are. It's not in someone's basement where someone's going to OD and die. It's somewhere safe and open where they can get that treatment if they need it then.
I don't know. I just
Okay,
think,
was
I
it-
just think the drugs
Yeah,
are.
but I don't feel that people are just gonna be, doing coke and heroin in the street where you'd be like, oh, this person needs help. Like most of the people try to hide that they're on drugs or.
No, I understand, but people hide alcoholism. It's the same. It's the same thing. You got to treat the addiction. All right, real quick. Next one here. I didn't get to chime in about Black Lives Matter, so I'm
Chime in.
Yeah, I can do that right now. I think that I like it. It's great. They should do it. Like we've had oppression in this country for so long, and like nobody was shouting "All Lives Matter" in 1862 before the Civil War. I mean, there were people who were saying that abolition. I mean, the cause of the Civil War, but yeah, no. I mean, you need a place to vent and a place to be heard. I don't think they're focusing on the right area. Like, I mean, you got to focus on bringing families together. And hear me out before anyone says anything. Papa P. Whip is the blackest guy I know. I'm not. I mean, he's got a black experience, right? All right, and I'll tell you why. It's because of poverty. Poverty is the reason. Like, let's talk about the courts. Do you feel like that you've gotten special treatment in the courts because you're white? Like, has your white privilege helped you out in the courts?
No.
I know. Of course not. They don't see the color; they see the poverty. The poverty is what the is what it is.
Hold
Are
up
you
with
going
the
to end up?
hold up with the poverty talk. What are you talking about?
Zero.
Can you afford to pay these bills?
I have
that-
2 lawyers.
No, that's
What?
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like, are they bankrupting you? These 2 lawyers?
Well,
is the system?
Yeah, the system is
Well,
bankrupting me.
that's
right,
what I'm saying.
but-
Okay, well, it's the same for any poor person. You're gonna get steamrolled by the process. If you don't have the money,
business rules.
no, if you don't have the money to put up a proper defense and defend yourself, you're gonna get steamrolled. And so, really, I think if we want to help the black community and any community, really, is we got to provide economic opportunities, and really focus on ending poverty. I see poverty every single day. Okay, my main job, I can't say where I work, but I help feed folks every single day, and you see this systemic.
That's really cool, by the way.
Thank you. You see this systemic poverty that is just generational, and it just doesn't end. So where do we eventually? Someone's got to put their foot down to be able to take a step forward, right? Because if you're just on the merry-go-round, you're just swinging around. Well, you're going to swing around. Your kids are going to swing around. We got to put our. Someone's got to say, this is unsustainable. This is not going to work. I want a better life for my kids than I had, and we have to be able to move forward. And that's part of keeping families together. It's part of building strong communities with good paying jobs. People need opportunities, but I think that everyone here is going to agree with me on that. We just have different ideas about how to do it.
No, I think we all said that earlier. Yeah, same thing.
But that's what I'm saying about Black Lives Matter. I understand and see the frustration, okay? But it's not about race. It's about economic. Your economic level is where it's at, and it doesn't matter what color you are. Poor is poor, and you're gonna have, when you're poor, you have less opportunities. All right, all right. Look at us. We grew up in broken homes, right? Our parents were divorced, but I don't know how much you want to get into it, but how often was your dad around?
Every other week, and
yeah, so
twice a month.
Lyric, was your dad around?
They need to be involved more than that. Parents got to be involved more than that. You can't. Parenting's not and this. Parenting's not a weekend job. It's a full-time, all the time job. I had no idea how tough it was until I had my son. Now I know and he's only one. There's so much work you have to put in. But you got to be willing to put that work in. And
what kind of show am I missing tonight?
No, it's a very special episode.
Deep thoughts with the hammer.
Yeah, we played sad music in the intro. Okay.
To speak to that really quickly, because you kind of struck a nerve with me. You get what it's like to be in a family and things like that. The three of us are all divorced. Lyric has a kid. We're all single parents.
Yeah.
So
I have a family.
To speak to that effect, yeah, you need to keep your family together and be a parent. But there are situations where it is not okay to stay together, and we're still great parents. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Well, the issue that I don't know if I'm putting anybody else isn't there, but the issue that Hammer brought up of divide within communities and poverty lines, and that's a huge issue in this country that definitely needs to be addressed. But to kind of brush Black Lives Matter off as a group that's almost like a poverty group, I think is kind of far off, because you could look at every type of stat out there that shows how African Americans are treated with police officers, the crime rate, and that's put against, there are a lot of racial people out there. A lot of racism still is prominent in this country, and I don't think you can just say, well, because statistically black people don't make as much money as white people, you can't say that that's all what the Black Lives Matter movement is.
That you didn't listen to anything I said. That's not at all what I said. I said that poverty is the great uniter, and we should be focused on how to fix that. And I also said that
that's a separate cause, though.
No, it's not a secondary cause. That's the main cause.
No, it's a separate cause.
I think it's one and the same.
Well,
you can't. Okay, if you have cancer and it's spreading, you can't just treat the liver cancer when it's going to when it's about to go to the lymph nodes. You got to have a full. You have to have a full course measure of treatment to be able to fix anything. You can't just hit one area of it.
Okay, but to speak to that, so if I go walk in a breast cancer walk, I'm not saying breast cancer is the worst cancer and fuck all other cancers.
I'm saying,
hold on. I'm saying I support this. So it runs parallel. So I can see what Lyric's saying is it's a separate issue. Yes, they definitely run parallel. Neither one is more important than the other. Is the way I'm understanding that he's saying. They run parallel. It's just a separate issue.
Yeah, I mean, wealthy African American people still get harassed. They still get bothered. That some middle class to lower white individuals don't. But however, what Hammer's saying is 100% right. To fix the problem, we need to get rid of poverty, or at least diminish it greatly. And so I think we're all pretty much on the same board here. What bothers me is when people try to just call them rioters or looters, and obviously there are people rioting, there are some people looting, but Black Lives Matter is a protest group. Just because some people take advantage of that, you should not group them as anything else but what they are. And I've actually had somebody who's in the police force say that they were going to be labeled a terrorist group, which we proceeded to argue about. So, I mean, they're doing good, or they're pushing to do good. I protest. I'm involved in it, not in Black Lives Matter, but other protests. And I know it's not easy work. People look at you funny. It's hard to do. You get harassed, but the fact they keep pushing is amazing and good for them. I hope things change.
I agree. Hope and change.
Hope and change.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, what's one of your next topics?
No, how to fix the government. We have 8 minutes, so we're going to be very quick about this. I have a 5-point plan.
Go.
Reform the tax structure so that everyone's just paying a flat tax. Boom. Everyone has buy-in then. Number 2, deregulate. What am I saying?
Regulate.
Thank you. Deregulate all drugs. Free. All drugs. No problem. Number 3, term limits for all politicians. Term limits. Two terms. You got that. If you can't make a difference, get the fuck out. We need new ideas. Number 3, public financing of elections. Get all the money out of the elections. The person with the best idea wins. And then my fifth plan is we need to downsize the government. Like, we need to get rid of the IRS. We could do that with
I'm fully on board with getting rid of the IRS.
I'll say we could.
Can we make this happen today?
I think
before
so.
January 1st of 2017.
Yeah, I think
please.
so. What I'm saying is, like, we don't need all these. Like, Department of Education,
agencies.
we can get rid of that. We can let states and local counties decide how they're going to spend their tax dollars and how they're gonna educate people. I know what you're thinking, and we very well could have in Alabama some schools that just teach the Bible. That could happen. I'm not saying it's going to be a perfect system. We have to work it out still, but I think it's a better system than we have now, because the education system is it's failing the kids. And I know that Papa P-Whip's can disagree with me, but if you look at the makeup of every single PTO, well, not every single, most PTOs, but every single teachers union, it's all run by liberal Democrats who have been the same exact ideas, the same exact thing for the last, 60 years. And look where it's got us. It's got us a failing system. So,
I don't know how anybody could disagree with our education system is failing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we need some new ideas, and I don't think we don't need top-down, bureaucracy that just takes money at every level. I think that we need people who live in the communities, again, to take personal responsibility for, helping out with their kids, and also to hold their leaders accountable on how the money's being spent, what, we think is important for people to learn.
But how do you get people to step up? I mean, I've got 2 daughters in elementary school, and I literally got emails thanking me for doing their homework with them. They're both 1 in 26 kids and 1 in 24 kids, and literally they're 1 in 3 kids that turns in homework regularly.
Yeah.
How do you get people to step up?
Parents.
That's the biggest problem.
It's a 6-point plan. Free birth control. No fucking joke. Everybody.
Yes.
Just for free.
How about you have to prove that you are not a fuck up to be a parent?
No, I don't want licensing and that type of shit. What I'm saying is,
I would have
just
no
free,
kids.
free. Like, you know what? instead of cops having guns, they should
Yeah.
have
Birth
just
control pills?
like you know those
Their mouth
t-shirt
as they
cannons.
walk
You know
by.
those t-shirt cannons. You just fill those up with condoms, and they just drive through the streets just shooting them.
It doesn't matter if they have condoms. It's got to be more
just-
than condoms.
just-
We all, in this room, we
Nah.
know it's got to be more than condoms.
Yeah, I've never used one, so
Yeah. You and your
How did
brothers.
little Timmy die?
I know.
It was shot by a condom.
condom cannon. But
Biggest candy you've
I think
ever
that's the
seen.
best idea I've ever come up with, condom cannon. But no, you're right. But again, free for everybody. And then at 14 or 15, like if you want to walk into any Walgreens and say, I would like birth control pills, no questions asked. Here you go, enjoy.
You can go to Planned Parenting right now at 14 or 15 and do the same thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Let's take the stigma out of it. People want to fuck. Fucking is awesome. So let's take the stigma away from. Yeah, right. Boom. Let's take the stigma away from it. Let's take the Jesus out of fucking. Just realize that people are gonna do it. That's what's gonna happen. So let's.
Did you just high five yourself about
Yeah.
fucking?
Yeah,
Yeah, for lyric.
yeah. But when
Oh.
there you go.
Those lyrics high five.
But what I'm saying is we take all the morality out of fucking, because again, we're animals. We haven't outgrown that. I don't think we ever are, because that's
One of these days, I want you to come on my show and I want you to talk about the animal instinct
Yeah.
to not stay monogamous.
well, that's in there too. It's hard. Like we have to fight against that
Right.
every
We're
day.
just going to do a show on that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is free birth control, and then we got a bunch of people who don't want to be parents yet. Like I'd be a shitty parent if I had a baby before I was 30. I know it. I'd be terrible. Like I'm not ready mentally to be at 30. I wasn't financially secure enough or mentally secure enough to have a kid. Like I would have fucked up. I would have played Kobe Bryant basketball all day long and worry about my season. It's so hard. That's an inside joke. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's
I'm
crying.
35 and I'm still not ready to have kids.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I love guys how Hammer says we only have 8 minutes and then talks for 7
Yeah, I
minutes.
apologize. All right, so let's kick. Yeah, I'm sorry. We got 3 minutes left. Let's kick
And
it
Hammer,
around.
you made some good points there, but like especially number 4, where taking campaign finance out of it and having actual best ideas win an election instead of, look at what money and power, how that sways people's votes. Look who we have running, for president right now,
Yeah.
and it's because they have money and they have power and influence. So taking money out of it would be huge. And as far as the education system, I think we don't, and this kind of goes to the poverty thing that we were talking about earlier, is we don't even teach kids in school how to balance a checkbook or how to, do their taxes or anything that you really need to succeed in life.
Yeah, but
So
to be fair to the
things like that would be-
schools, we both had
a balance of checkbook.
we both had foods 1 and 2.
Economics.
What was that?
Yeah.
Economics.
Social economics.
Yeah.
I learned how to balance a checkbook in high
I
school.
got kicked out of that class.
I think you were in my social economics class and you did get kicked out.
I got kicked out a bunch of times because the teacher didn't like.
She hated your ass.
Yeah, she
So-
didn't like me. Like
So
I
did
was
you
like,
guys
I mean, I
know
feel
then
like
how
maybe.
to, when you guys got out of high school, did you know how to, get a mortgage or to,
No, man.
Like the major
If
things
you
in
met
life?
my mother, there wasn't much I didn't know out of high school.
no, to your point, when I went to college, I'm like, hold on, you're saying I get a free shirt and a case of Pepsi if I sign up for a credit card? Like,
Exactly.
I got so many free shirts. Yeah,
it's
like
so
6
true.
credit cards. Yeah, I did that.
You know what? When I was
Got you at the basketball games.
yes, I had a credit card from 19 to 21, and at 21 I just cut it up. I had for the last 14 years I haven't had a credit card.
Really?
Yeah,
At all?
At all. It's all cash or nothing.
I have one credit card that I use only for emergencies.
You know. But anyways,
Or the
real quick, we gotta thank you, Lyric, for that statement. Let's kick it to Sauce real quick for closing thoughts.
As far as the government goes, unfortunately, like I said, I'm not big on the news. I don't know how to.
He
fix
doesn't even know
things.
who's running right now.
You know what,
I think
Sauce?
some guy named Trump and
Sauce
Clinton
is
and
the
a couple other
problem.
guys.
He's part of the
Sauce
problem.
is
I am the problem.
Sauce is the problem.
Because I
Sauce
don't
is
care.
the problem. Sauce is the problem.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I may
Yes,
chant that later on today.
After this show, I'm gonna have to start catching up on the news to stay up with you guys. But as far as Black Lives, I never heard the terrorism thing until you mentioned it right there. I hope it doesn't get to that point where it's becoming a terrorism group.
Well,
Fix the government, great. Drugs, stick with marijuana being legalized, not worried about the rest. Those are my
yeah,
three.
thanks, man. By the way, the government has a long and rich history of branding groups terrorist organizations.
Right.
When they're not. So, like the KKK, come on. I'm
Those are
joking.
terrorists.
That was one group.
They are not a terrorist
That's
group.
what I was
That
going to
is
say.
one
That was
group.
one group that
They have actually
wasn't.
been cleared
Yeah.
of the terrorism label.
They had people
I know.
behind government.
But
making sure it didn't
ICP is
happen.
a terrorist group? This is bullshit. Juggalo for life. Nah, juggalos are stupid. Go ahead. You're saying? I'm gonna kick it to OBB. There you go.
Hammer, you're gonna end up on the no-fly.
Listen, my gut put me on the no-fly list years ago. I'm too proud to ask for a helper belt, so I'm not flying anywhere. No joke. No joke. That's what happened. Like my sister called me. She's
There's
like,
a name for that?
a helper belt, you asshole. Hold on. My sister called me up and she's
Man,
like,
snort.
hey, I found $100 tickets to Arizona so you can go see your mom. And like, I haven't seen my sister in like 5 years. I've never met my nephew that she has out there. So like $100, like, yeah, I could swing that and go out there, with my family. And it happened. I'm like, I don't want to, it's the same reason I don't go to amusement parks. I don't want to go and sit down in the ride and then have the thing not close all the way and then like, oh, you got to get out. Fuck that.
Yeah.
So I just, I
This is
stay away
like
from
2
those
hours,
things. That's
guys.
right. Anyways, this is for another story because I'll get sad in about a minute here. So Papa P Whip. Oh God, I hope people listen to this. Can we put a disclaimer on this? Just listen to the end and there's some laughs. Okay, go ahead. Papa P Whip, go ahead.
All right. Well,
Closing thoughts.
my closing thoughts will take me back to what you said about the family. I think you're right. There isn't a big issue with single-parent families. And the issue is not just a father's leaving or mother's leaving in some cases. It is the family court system, which takes families at their lowest points and basically squeezes them and strangleholds them and takes all their money, takes their kids' futures, and is incentivized to pick winners, which means one parent is usually out. They lose their decision-making. They lose their ability to parent. They get very small amount of time with their child. And then when things go wrong for the child, it's thrown back on their face like it was their fault. So I think we need a total overhaul of that system. I think we need to put children first and understand that in a lot of these cases, these people are fighting for their kids because they want to be parents. So it has nothing to do with money or any other reason. And honestly, even if it was, oh well, make them step up, make them be the parents. So go to a 50-50 system unless there's an actual real reason not to. And make both people single parent on their own. You want to get divorced? Fine. Here you go. Here's your reward. You got these kids all to yourself half the time. And I bet you things change real quick because you're not taking all the money out of their pockets. You're not taking the college funds or the vacations, all that stuff away. Or the house where they live, the ability to feed the kids, or as Hammer politely told everyone, poverty. You don't want to put people in that situation, and that's exactly what they're doing. And it's all the way from the judges all the way down to the police, throwing people in jail because they can't make a child support payment. It's insanity.
Yeah, but aren't you guys all deadbeats?
Yeah, right.
You remember when that lawyer came?
Yeah.
Oh man,
The lawyer.
he said,
Yeah.
"Go home, you're all deadbeats. Why aren't you
You're all
working?"
deadbeats.
It's like,
Yeah.
Oh, we had to protest.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry,
Let's
Lyric.
let
Go ahead.
Lyric give his.
No, I was just gonna go to your point there that having a divorce or fighting for your child should not break you. It should not bankrupt you. It should you should be able to fight for what you love and who you love without having to lose everything that you own.
Yeah.
And that's such a huge thing in our
Absolutely.
society that we need to fix.
Absolutely. I don't want to get too conspiracy theory here, but all your money's gone, and now you're more likely to be growing up in a desperate situation with more crime. Now you're going to commit more crime, so we're going to fill up the privately funded prisons. And I don't want to get crazy, but it seems suspect. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this very special episode of Almost Live from the Basement. And I hope you enjoy this. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you think about it. Share it with a friend. We're going to be back to our regular format next week. So I hope you tune in. So for Joe Hammer, Papa P Whip, Sauce, and OBB and Lyric. Thank you very much for tuning in, and keep it swinging. Thank you.
Good night.